Welcome, folks, to this edition of the 700 Club. Baby, it's hot out there. I mean, here in Virginia, where we are, the heat index is going to be hovering around 110. Up in Washington, D.C., 110. In New York, some of the power lines are actually melting in certain parts of Queens, I believe it is, because of the overload of air conditioning and the heat. It's really bad. But Louisiana is where the focus of disaster has been. That state's in a state of emergency. Massive flooding has destroyed thousands of homes across the state, and the rivers in Louisiana are still rising.
That's right. People have fled for their lives. Some didn't make it. And all weekend, emergency crews raced to rescue trapped people. George Thomas has the latest.
Get out! Give me a knife. Give me a knife.
A dramatic moment caught on camera.
We're coming. Watch your eyes.
As rescuers try frantically to pull a woman from her submerged car.
Oh my God, I'm drowning.
We're coming. We're coming. I'm gonna break this window. We're breaking
Minutes
the window.
later, she emerges safely from under the water.
Give a dog. Her dog. Give a dog.
This was just one of 20,000 rescues that happened all over Baton Rouge this weekend.
This could have ended really badly if they didn't come and help us out.
As emergency crews battled massive flooding, strong enough to knock even tractor trailers off the highway. Tens of thousands of people forced to escape, taking only what they can carry.
We have lost trailers, our apartment, our house is gone under. There's nothing left, nothing.
Louisiana is in a state of emergency, with 4 parishes declared a major disaster. Hardest hit, Livingston, drenched with 21 inches of rain in 24 hours.
Obviously, this is a serious event. It is ongoing. It is not over.
That's because in some places, rivers are still rising and not expected to crest until Tuesday. Heavy rains began on Friday, with between 6 and 10 inches falling on parts of southeast Louisiana. Several more inches fell on Saturday. Residents pushed and paddled down flooded main streets all weekend. More than 200 roads are closed in the state, some completely cut off, leaving hundreds of motorists stranded. And when emergency crews couldn't rescue everyone, ordinary citizens stepped in, like this scene of a man rescued from his sinking car.
I just told him, don't panic. I'm here for you. I'm going to get you out these waters.
Sunday saw drier weather, but authorities are warning residents to stay home and off the roads.
If the sign says road closed, it's there for a reason. Don't cross it.
In the meantime, the state's governor has deployed 1,700 National Guard soldiers to help with search and rescue. George Thomas, CBN News.
Thanks, George. And Terry was pointing out during that piece, the aftermath will be horrible mold. It's hot down there, and it'll all be wet. And the drywall in those houses, I was there in Katrina, and they just have to strip right down to the studs and then treat the studs to make sure that they get rid of the mold. I mean, it's just a hideous process. And the devastation is alarming. So we're going to be doing everything we can to help the people in Louisiana during this time of crisis. Well, out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Milwaukee is being rocked by violence after a police shooting. There was an armed black man. He had a gun, and he was shot by the police. George Thomas has more.
Thank you, Pat. That's right. The shooting death of a black man sparked riots and destruction in Milwaukee over the weekend. Protesters threw rocks at police and set fire to cars and buildings. 4 officers were hurt and 6 businesses were destroyed. It happened after a black officer shot and killed 23-year-old Sylville Smith during a traffic stop. Authorities say Smith fled, and when the police officer ordered him to stop, Smith turned around with a gun in his hand. It turns out that gun was stolen. In political news, Donald Trump lays out his plan to defeat global Islamic terrorism today. His speech comes after spending the weekend to try to explain why he's not polling well against Hillary Clinton. Bottom line, he's blasting the media for his slump in the polls. He calls the press, quote, disgusting and corrupt, saying they're taking his words out of context and ignoring huge turnouts at his rallies. On the road in Pennsylvania, he's also warned of potential voter fraud this fall. Republicans are urging Trump to focus his fight on his Democratic rival. There's no denying it. Usain Bolt is still the fastest man in the world. The Jamaican star track winning gold in 100-meter for the third straight Olympic Games in a row. And Bolt crediting God for his success with his signature lightning bolt pose, pointing to the sky as he does after every race. In the past, also tweeting about his Christian faith. And by the way, he's not the only Olympian giving glory to God. South Africa's Wayne van Niekerk set a new world record to win gold in the 400 meters. After his victory, thanking God, tweeting, "Jesus did it, and God is power." It's a big win in more ways than one for Mr. Kirk because his mother, also a runner, was not allowed to compete in the 1992 Olympics because of apartheid in South Africa. She's 110 pounds of fury. That is when she's on the wrestling mat. This week, 21-year-old Haley Ugalo is taking her fight to the Summer Games in Rio. CBN contributor Stephanie Riggs caught up with Haley at the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, where the Olympic hopeful explained how faith has made all the difference.
Haley Ugalo needed to finish in the top 2 to qualify for the Rio Games this summer, and she did it.
Who did you call first?
My dad. yeah. I called him.
What did you say?
I was just really happy. I think I was crying, actually, thinking back on it. I was excited for us. I was just excited that we're all going to Rio, and you know, our family's been through a lot the past year, so I think I was just happy to finally reach my goal. That's something I worked for 8 years. Yeah. So.
Haley's family will watch her fulfill her dream August 17th from the stands. And Haley believes her beloved grandmother will be watching from heaven. Haley lost her grandmother this year to breast cancer.
She was so perfect. She's a perfect person to look up to. She was so nice. She always spoke kindly to people. She was a great role model. And I think I do a good job of letting her legacy live on through me.
This notion of heavenly life and purpose is new to Haley.
I was actually an atheist for the first 20 years of my life, and I'm 21 now. So this past year, I really grew in my faith, and I started enjoying life more, and that made me enjoy wrestling more. And I think God gave me these talents and my work ethic and my health because I have now this broad spectrum to spread His word and His love, and I think the Olympics is a big platform for me to do that. So I can't wait to go compete and, let Him show through me. That's my favorite part about this whole thing.
Haley credits God's word, her teammates, and her college roommate for opening her eyes.
In college, my roommate, Megan Black, she was super religious, and she was never pushy with me. She would just always ask, "Hey, can I pray on you before you wrestle?" And then one day I was just like, "Megan, I think I believe in God. I think I was wrong. I don't think I don't believe in God."
How has that changed your life?
I think it's given me a better outlook on life, really. It just really sets good morals, if anything. I want to speak to people kindly. I want to spread love, especially in a world like today where a lot of things are hateful and terrorism and social media makes it so easy to, spread bad messages.
Terry Steiner has coached the U.S. Women's Olympic wrestling team for 14 years. He believes faith gives athletes a solid foundation to build on and a definite edge.
I think it's a huge difference. I guess people without faith would say no, but I think that we all need something to stabilize us. We all need something when the world gets hectic that we can come back to and give us some peace, right, and give us some purpose. That's what faith does, right? And that's what Christ does for us.
Ugalo has called this U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs home for the past year, where she has done nothing but eat, sleep, and drink wrestling. It all paid off. She's now in Rio, where we're going to sit back and wait and watch and pray for her to bring home the gold. In Colorado Springs, I'm Stephanie Riggs, CBN News.
Thanks, Stephanie. By the way, Haley competes on the 17th, and she isn't asking people to pray for gold, just a clear head and right mindset. You can find more Olympic stories of faith at cbnnews.com. Pat, back to you.
I tell you what this is doing is changing the perception of femininity. Believe me. Did you ever think the day would come we'd be seeing in Olympics women wrestlers?
Yeah, she's good.
Did you notice those spins? That woman, she really is good.
Mm-hmm. Takes a lot of work and effort to
get
to where these
one point for
athletes have
spinning like that and getting on somebody's back, and you got to, you know, when you pin them, then it's a whole different matter. But I had about 2 moves in wrestling, and they were very effective.
Hey, that's all you need. One good one will do it, right?
I hate to come up against it, but they got women boxers that hit like mules. I mean, you know, I don't know about the husbands of these women, whether they're going to be able to handle the wives. But the
they're
wives,
not speaking.
No, you just.
But your grandson is a great wrestler, is he not?
He was captain of the wrestling team at his prep school. He was very good and strong as a bull. And, he was good. But I wrestled intramural, but not professional. I mean, not in the team. But anyhow, that girl is, wow. But women boxers?
Yes. Well, no. I mean, they're
women martial artists? Wow. Would you like to? Did you ever do any of that stuff?
Probably not, but I admire it.
Well, you see, you were singing and looking feminine, and they were.
Hey, you can look feminine and do those
It's a different image than what it used to be.
Yeah.
Baby, you've come a long way. All right, Terry.
Okay.